Hello, wonderful people. How are you? So, my routine. I like to give a few minutes so some eyes can get on the live. So, if you know somebody who this may benefit, please tag them. Let them know. Also, let me know that you're here. You guys know I love those yellow hearts. Drop me a yellow heart. Or in honor of tonight, you guys can drop those lemons. Let us know that you are here. I am super, super excited and a little nervous. And my nerves are coming from one, my pen won't stay straight. My nerves are coming because this is something that is near and dear to my heart, something that I have been working on for over a year, and I just feel like it's my baby and I'm about to give birth. So, I'm a little nervous. So happy Thursday. I hope everyone is having an amazing evening. I am in New Jersey. You guys know I'm a state hopper, but I'm in New Jersey and it's storming a little bit here. So I'm hoping there's no interruption, but if there is, we're just gonna keep it flowing and pop back on. All right, guys, so here we go. It is about to begin. I am going to bring on our host for the evening. Maybe I'll interview her. Maybe I'll interview her at the end. Zenja, if you hear me, maybe I'll interview you. But it was very important to me that I incorporate as many women, specifically women of color, that I could in this event. And when I was thinking about the perfect host, Zenja was the one. And I'm really excited because I'm going to sit back and enjoy the show. I'll be back to talk a little bit about what I have going on a little later. But please join me in welcoming our host for the Pink Lemonade launch, Zenja Dunn. Clap it up, clap it up. And if you got some clappy hands, put them in there.
Those are my crowd noises.
Yeah.
Zenja! We are launching, and I just have to say I am so absolutely honored and excited to be here and be a part of this launch. Thank you so much, Miss Onyx Keesha, for inviting me to do this. And folks, it is about healing. It is about creativity. It is about information and education. This is a launch and a celebration of a journey that far too many people, especially African American women of color, experience on a daily basis. So because Onyx has brought together such a unique group of creative souls and energy and information and education, we're here to just be a part of that and celebrate it. Of course, lend my voice to it. You're going to hear about what a pit crew is. I'm super excited about this part because my personal story, my sister has multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. So I am a part of her pit crew. We have an amazing doctor who's going to break down what that is for you. What we want you to do is join the movement and make a difference. We're absolutely here for celebration, creative expression, and all of that. But you guys absolutely know that we need support. We're coming here and giving you this amazing launch with everything that's happening. But Onyx Keesha, what we want to do is we want to make sure that anyone who has the heart and who is moved to give to this movement and be a part of it has that information.
Yes.
So I didn't know if you wanted to match it on. I was going to read it off, but I know you are the technical queen of this whole situation. So you definitely want to make sure you join the movement, the Pink Lemonade Movement at Gmail for any information that you want to. Again, it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that highlights and supports and has creative expression for women who are living and thriving through this. What we're celebrating here and what we're bringing light to as far as October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is just awesome that you are launching this and we're bringing such an amazing group of people together. So
Thank
I just wanted to
you.
say that.
Yes.
And we'll be checking back in from time to time, making sure we give you guys that information. But what we're launching is so much. So my first question for you, if I can go ahead and take a moment with our our reason for being here. So tell us what's all involved and encompassed in this launch, because I know there's a book, there's a Pink Lemonade children's book,
Yeah.
there's an amazing docu-series.
Yeah.
How does all of this come out of? Okay.
So this movement has been a year in the making, and I wanted to be really deliberate about when I launched. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to launch at the end of October is because we're launching during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but the movement is all year long. And so a lot of times October comes, we are all about breast cancer, and then here comes, the holidays, and we are no longer mindful about doing our self-checks. We're no longer mindful about our diet and about how we have to stay in a mind of being aware and preventing, trying to prevent breast cancer from, being a part of our journey. And so I said, how can I really marry my love of art and my mission? My art is my ministry. And so it was like, how can I do this? And so, I woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to write a children's book. And I thought it was going to be easy. And it wasn't. It took about 6 months between the writing and the illustration. And so all of the proceeds from the children's book, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, are going to go to the Pink Lemonade movement because we have some big, big plans. And then I am a filmmaker. I live and breathe film and theater, and I make documentaries about so many other people and things that early on in my journey, I thought it was important to document it. At the time, I didn't know that it was going to turn into what it is blossoming into, but I knew that far too many times, especially in our communities, we stay quiet about things that are scary or things that we feel are a private matter. And by doing that, we're not transparent. And so my story could help somebody. And really the scope of the documentary, and Sunny will talk about that, is not so much about cancer as much as it is about your mindset and how your mind heals and how the arts heal. Every single part of my journey, I was creating.
Wow.
Every single part. So I'm super excited.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to just go ahead and establish, I wanted them to hear from the creator and the reason why we're here for this amazing launch. But what we want to do right now is take a quick turn and go ahead and bless this whole situation. We want to make sure we already know it is good, and everyone who tunes in is going to be blessed, or there's going to be a seed planted through information or creativity, the healing power that you just talked about. But we have some powerful women and contributors today, and I want to introduce the first woman who is going to bless us today. She is known as the Pink Love Specialist. She is a sought after author and speaker in areas of trauma, including relationships, sexuality. She's religious and faith-based, also facilitates workshops across the country, leading people from pain to healing. All right. Her name is Dr. Rainier Ahmed, and she is an advocate for spiritual healing and harm reduction in the LGBTQIA plus community, and the founder of the LGBT Faith Matters initiative to help heal the LGBTQ faith trauma communities of color. She holds a Doctor of Ministry degree, as well as a Master's of Arts and Religious Education from New York Theology Seminary. All right, a fun fact, about Rainier is she is a contestant for the upcoming 2021 Full Figured USA at Large pageant, recently representing, actually, she'll be representing New York State. I will get out of the way. She's going to bless this amazing broadcast today. Dr. Rainier Amen, are you here?
I am here. Thank you so much, Zenja. Thank you. Thank you. I just would like us to take a moment to send pink love light out to everyone who is watching, everyone who is participating, and everyone who will watch this replay. Because we will want to be inclusive of all faiths, all I'm going to ask is that you hold space as your spirit sees fit. Most gracious God, the one who heals and is the source of all that is, we thank you for our time together. We thank you for the one that you planted this vision within. We thank you for her healing and fortitude to bring awareness to the world. We give thanks today for the life and continued legacy of Onyx Keesha. We are honored to bear witness to this moment. The moment that is birthing healing in the world, a moment bringing people together across the globe in the name of breast cancer, but also in the name of love. Love for the community, love for the people, love in a time when love is not most evident. We thank you for everyone that is gathered here today, as well as those that gave of their time to make all of this possible. We thank you for every person that shared, posted, and messaged. Every person that has a story or a testimony. We thank you for every voice that has spoken or will speak. We ask that you allow the remaining time to be one that edifies, one that opens resources and minds, one that honors and uplifts, and one that leaves a lasting memory etched within our hearts. Today, we say a special prayer for those who are in need. In a time when so much is in question, when people are making decisions for bodies that aren't theirs, taking lives that were meant to be lived, and moving in ways that do not show up in love, we hold space in this moment for those crying out in need of an answer. We hold space for those needing a message, needing a word, or simply just to know they are not alone. We ask for healing. Please touch everyone in their spirits and deep in their bodies and to their mind. We ask that you give what is needed in this moment. And finally, we simply close how we began, giving thanks for the breath of life, a community of love, and the will to go on. Let us all say amen, ashe, and so it is. You're muted.
All right. Well, there we go. Welcome to Digital Muting, Unmuting. It's happening all over the world. But thank you so much for blessing this amazing space. Understanding that vibration is a part of it. Each and every person that steps up and gives of themselves is absolutely adding to the energy here. So thank you so much. We're going to check back in with you, and you're going to give us some amazing insight on support and a pit crew. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, if you are just joining us, you are joining the movement to make a difference. This is the launch of Pink Lemonade, the movement, Onyx Keesha, and everything that she's been through, the creative people that she has brought together, and we're going to continue the program. We just were blessed and the vibration is raised, and now we're going to go ahead and move into another creative space. The next person that I am about to introduce and bring to the space is super powerful. She is Taryn Love Rains Warwood. All right. And she's the co-founder of the Cypher Open Mic Poetry and Soul, which is the longest running open mic in Jacksonville history and the second in the state of Florida. She's the founder and host of the Random Thoughts of Rain podcast. Love Rains is a poet, writer, author, MC, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and creator of dopeness. All right. Go ahead, Love Rains. And Love Reigns is truly in a lane of her own and isn't afraid to create another one if she has to. Welcome to the stage, the vibration, the space, Miss Poet Love Reigns.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm trying to get this lighting here. Correct.
You are shining bright, sis.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Awesome. So thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Onyx Keesha, for allowing me to be a part. I'm really honored to be a part of this event. So I do have a couple poems, and this poem in particular, this one poem in particular, is dedicated to all of the women who are just finding it hard to find sacred space, and finding it hard to find themselves and center themselves. This poem is dedicated to you. You shine like moon and star, engaging in exchange of energy. Like light and love conspiring with universe tendencies, you glow. Like a well-lit path saying, follow me to the destiny of your being, Karana. Centered in the depths of you, you heal and peel back layers, purveyor of spirit, knowing futures are only truly lived by being present in the now. Experience flows from your lips like waves, then settling calm. You move like water, free. Taking on every form of this existence, you goddess you. You move. Like footsteps and intention walk hand in hand, you are journeying. 1,000 miles on the road not taken, but worth the wait, whatever time that means. You gleam like sun rising east. Peace reflected. You speak and seek wisdom in prayer, desire manifested from first exchange. The range of you is not easy to detect, but you are depth. Wisdom sage versed in truth, you are proof that God exists. The Nile running through your veins proves kings and queens were born from you. God is you. God is you. You goddess you. You are words that we have never known. You are the movement. You are peace. You are joy. You are a joy that never ceases. You are happiness. You are love, uncharted and abounding. You are necessary and divine. You goddess you. You have every right to damn it shine. So that's that piece. So that piece again was dedicated to all of the women out there who are just trying to find peace and find space.
Mm-hmm. So, that was beautiful.
Thank you. So I do have one more.
Okay.
And this poem is it's just for anyone who needs inspiration. Life can bring us through any changes, many changes, it's all right. Just don't give up, know that it's gonna be all right. People come and they go, that's just the way that it goes. He said, I need you to inspire me. He said, I need you to take those words that you were given and reignite this fire within me because I've lost my way. See, I used to be an artist. I used to paint pain on the portraits of my past, but lately, these portraits pierce pain through a glass half empty, half full of my sorrows. And forgive me for my request, but can I borrow a portion of your strength, sister? My soul is weak. Spirit depleted of its natural inhabitants and all, and I'm already prepared to fall because I've been to the bottom more times than I can remember. And in your smile, I can tell that life too ain't been easy for you, but I want to learn how to smile too. I want to learn how to get through when it seems that everything goes wrong and all you have is you. I said, brother, don't let this smile fool you. Because behind it, I've masked more amounts of pain than I can remember and used it to deface more shame than I care to admit to. I know all too well the hurt you speak of. I know what it feels like when it seems that love knows everybody's name but your own, and you give so much of yourself that you lose all that you've ever known, and all that remains is the skin on your bones. Brother, I've been there. I've been to those places most folk don't even know exist. So low to the point where even heaven feels like hell, and waking up another day becomes nothing more than a constant reminder of failure. I know what it feels like to be so close to your dreams that you can taste it. To reach for the sky so much that you could trace the stars with your eyes closed, tiptoeing across the clouds for balance. I know what it feels like to be beaten down so much that you just want to give up. And no matter how hard you try, you just always seem to get stuck in the same places. Believe me, my smile makes me no better than you. I've just learned how to take my Nile of tears and turn them into rivers of opportunity. Taking every closed door as a chance to open up a new one. It don't matter how many times you fall. All that matters is that you get up. See, in the distance lies your book of dreams, but sometimes you got to tear those pages off at the seams and rewrite another. The further away they seem they are, the harder you got to fight to get there. Releasing all your cares to the wind, releasing all your friends to the wind, releasing all of your family to the wind. All you need is you. So your truth and your validation will never come from the lips of another. And in this life fountain of youth, believe me, use me as an example. It ain't never too late to be what you might have been. So I'm gonna lend you my smile and hope that you will use it to paint away your pain again.
Yes, I'm snapping. I want everybody to join in on the snap. All right. So the creative, thank you so much for expressing yourself through your art the way you do. Now I'm asking everyone to get as possibly transparent as our amazing reason for being here, Miss Onyx Keesha is. What is that? First and foremost, do you have a personal story with someone, cancer, breast cancer at all?
Yeah, so my spiritual mother is a 3-time breast cancer survivor, and she is a fighter. She's a warrior, and I truly cannot imagine what my life would be like without her. So she is the closest person to me that I've known that has breast or had breast cancer.
Okay, absolutely. I'm just assuming she was one of the people behind what you just shared with us.
Yeah, she's always, you know, since I moved to Jacksonville 2005. And,
Okay.
You know, pretty much for the most part, since I've been here, she's kind of taken me under her wing, and, you know, her and my mom, my biological mom, communicate all the time about me. So I'm blessed, truly blessed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And would you say that your poetry is an outlet sometimes for the pain, for the
Oh yeah, all the
wanting to do more? Because I know when it came to my sister, I kept wanting to fix it.
Yeah.
Kept
Yeah, I
wanting
mean,
somehow.
it's an outlet. It's all of that. I mean, because you get to a point where you want to fix it, and you want to protect the people that you love, you know, and it's just like you feel helpless, you know. And so poetry has definitely been an outlet for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your contribution to this amazing day and
Thank
to the
you.
world with your poetry, man. The fact that
Thank you.
that's what you do is amazing, and you are awesome at it. So again, this is a conversation and not necessarily a presentation. You are a part of the cipher and this energy today. So we're going to step away for just a moment, but thank you again so much.
Thank you.
And what we're going to do right now is take a shift. I'm going to ask Miss Onyx Keesha to come back up and speak with us really quickly. How do you think everything's going? Where are you? I'm checking in with you from time to time just to see how you're feeling.
Oh, I am. I mean,
Because you want to be the host, because you like, I don't want to talk through this. I'm gonna be emotional, but then I'm going, where you at? What's going on?
So I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful. And it's really touching to me. Even I barely got through the prayer. Okay. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
I barely got through the prayer without just welling up with emotion and just gratitude. And I am a huge fan of Love Reigns. And one of the reasons why I wanted her to speak is because she speaks from the heart. So that wasn't just poetry. That was a prayer too, you know, and I just really have a huge vision for this organization, and I just want to save and touch as many lives as possible.
Okay, wonderful. I just wanted to do a quick check-in. We have more on the agenda. We're going to make another shift and have another creative join this amazing program and process today. This woman has the voice of an angel. I got to hear just a bit of it before when we were backstage. She's the founder and executive director of Danielle Tucker Productions. Danielle strives to break social and political norms through theater and film, right? From a young age, she was first introduced to the arts through singing and acting. In college, she developed her niche directing and has not looked back. She holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater from North Carolina A&T State University. Her work throughout regional, community, and collegiate theater is molded her efforts to create stellar theater and visual content. Danielle continues to enrich the arts and striving communities, and she is a developing artist here to contribute with her amazing voice. I invite to the space Miss Danielle Tucker. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, welcome, 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 lady.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to ask you a quick question. So what in your spirit, where in your why are you here today to present specifically?
Well, I've been a part of, Onyx and I have been a part of each other's life for a number of years.
Okay.
And the song that I chose to sing today, I remember singing to her when she got honored, maybe about 10 years ago. And the song that I'm singing still resonates. She still is a superwoman in everything she does. So I just really want to not only bless the viewers, but just show Onyx strength through this song.
Wonderful. And without further ado, take it away, beautiful.
Everywhere I'm turning, nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow, slave to humanity. I wear it on my shoulders. Gotta find the strength in me. 'Cause I am a superwoman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Still, when I'm a mess, I still put on the best within it. So much is to. Yes, I'm a superwoman. This is for all the mothers fighting for a better day to come. And all the women sitting there trying to come home before the sun. And all my sisters coming together, say yes I will, yes I will, 'cause I am a superwoman. Yes I am, yes she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on the best within that so much has to. Yes, I'm a superwoman. When I'm breaking down and I can't be found, I start to get weak. 'Cause no one knows me underneath these clothes, but I woman. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Still when I'm a mess, I still put on a vest with an S on my chest. Oh, yes, I'm a superwoman. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I
Thank
don't
you
even
so
know if I
much.
want to check in with Honest because I know she crying.
I know she is. I know she is.
Well, thank you so much for contributing to the day. How are you feeling about this celebration, Superwoman? There we go.
The face tells it all.
That face tells it all. I appreciate that so much. All right, you guys, this is the official launch of Pink Lemonade. We're super excited about everything going on. Thank you so much for your beautiful people as you guys are texting in. We absolutely appreciate the love. But again, we're raising funds. Onyx sees an amazing, huge vision for what we're doing. So I want to remind you, the donation link is pinklemonade.org. You can go ahead and see and follow everything that is going on with this very exciting movement. So did we have another song, Danielle, or did we want to come back later and do that?
Oh no. I think that was it.
Was that good? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't with your beautiful self. You got your yellow on for the lemons from the pink lemonade.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So next up, we are going to, when we're talking about the launch, you guys, of course, it's a children's book, but the mini documentary, it is no surprise that this would come from Onyx. But she had a wonderful family of people, a group of people that she's worked with forever to help bring this huge vision to fruition. All right. So what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to Chloe, who was the assistant extraordinaire, and her everything that she's done. So we're gonna bring Chloe up in just a few. But first I'm gonna bring up Onyx's partner in crime when it comes to the documentary, Miss Madison Hunter. We call her Sunny. She's an Atlanta local entrepreneur. All right, guys. She has a jewelry business called Manifest Life Jewels, where she creates custom copper crystal jewelry for people all over the country. It's gonna be she's gonna create a piece for me. With I just said that. It came out of my mouth and in my mind, so that's gonna happen. And she's also an up and coming actress and filmmaker. On top of being a mother of one, she also paints and trades in the Forex market in her spare time. My sister in Forex trading. I love it. So I want to welcome into the space. And we're going to have a great conversation with Miss Sunny, Miss Madison Hunter. How are you, Sunny?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Wonderful.
Actually be here. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
And we are grateful that you are a part of it now. Let's talk about the creation of this documentary. You were there every step of the way with Onyx. So, from your point of view, what was your hope to communicate through the documentary in the beginning?
Well, definitely just being an artist in general. It's so important for us to be able to express our true selves through any art form, whether that be dance, musical theater, and all the rest. So this project was really passionate for me, just to be alongside with her, just to be able to help her in any way. My grandmother, she actually went through chemo twice. She went through cancer twice, having breast cancer, and it came back. And just knowing what a process that is in general and how straining it is on the body. Because a lot of people, when they say cancer, they just think about, oh, okay, it's the disease, and then they don't think about it anymore, but they don't realize the amount of trips to the doctor you have to do and the different dialogue that I've been picking up on while doing this documentary and following her around with a camera and shooting and talking to other women who are like-minded and have the same situations is just immense. It's definitely a learning curve for me, and knowing how to be as sensitive to which things. It's like there's chemo, then there's radiation, and different types of stents that they get put in different parts of their body. It's really interesting.
And how did you? So I found this interesting. And me and we didn't film anything, but even moments of having to make sure as the caretaker or someone's at like where I had to get myself together. Were there moments that were tough for you as the person who's counted on to capture this? And what would you do to make sure you were honest with what was happening, of course, to Onyx as far as being the subject, but even your relationship, like how was that?
You know, the easiest way that I've been able to do it is to let the person talk. Sometimes just holding the person's hand through the conversation is more important than trying to add in stats or anything about something and not really being able to relate if it's not your own personal journey. So really being able to think about the questions that are going to lead into a qualitative answer for her to be able to express and bring more understanding to me as well as the people at home who don't really know exactly what to expect. People like, going through the cancer journey or people just finding out and everything. That's really important. Um, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Sorry.
That's okay. Could you pinpoint one moment that was maybe enlightening or surprising about the journey of filming this documentary?
um, when we were filming with one of the people who I'm not sure if she wants to be named, and she was talking about her first time finding out that she had cancer and how she didn't answer the phone. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor called her the first week. She didn't answer the phone. The doctor persistently kept calling her, and she still did not answer the phone because she was just too scared. And
Mm,
then by the fourth time, she finally did answer the phone, and it was like her whole world came to a complete pause and a stop. And just kind of just sitting there holding the camera, it's hard not to shed a tear for empathy in the situation and just knowing how scared she was in the moment. But also on the flip side, talking about how faith is everything.
mm,
Faith is everything with this entire, and it's your mindset, it's your attitude, it's the way you meditate, it's your spirituality and what connects you to this world that gets you through everything, that finding that reason to live, going through and talking to each one of these women, and each one of them, their reason to live was definitely their faith. That moment when they're just alone in the room and it just seems like it's so hard, they're so sleepy, they're so tired, they're in so much pain, but then
mm.
that ounce of hope and that little ounce of just having God or the creator with them was just beautiful to see that that was able to bring them on and bring them through their journey.
Wow. What I want to do right now is, Onyx, I want to go ahead and bring you on with this interview as well, because you guys worked very closely. And of course, it was about you, but it was about other women going through this journey as well. What was it to have someone there, even in your toughest times, that was there on purpose to document what was happening?
Well, to be honest, like because I'm in the industry, I try to control everything. Like, no,
Really?
no.
No.
Like, we don't need to get this, or I don't need to get this. And a lot of times during the journey where I had to be by myself, I had someone with me who constantly encouraged me to take out the camera and record. And so there's two moments that were really difficult for me. One was when I rang the bell, and we had an event at one of my favorite restaurants, and like I had like my bestie flew in, and I had everyone who was close to me together. And of course, Sunny was there, and it was time for me to ring my cancer-free bell because I had finished 20 weeks of chemo, 9 weeks of radiation. And in that moment, I was overcome with emotion because I was in fight mode the entire time. In that moment, I realized, wow, like this was a journey, and I could not have made it through. And I was just overcome with emotion. And then seeing like my tribe there really, really helped my pit crew there. That really helped me. And then when I started to begin the process of editing this, I called Sunny, and I was just like, I trust Sunny so much, especially artistically. And I had spent hours crying, looking at the footage. And I was like, I need your help. I can't do this by myself, because I couldn't take seeing the pictures and then seeing women who were in chemo with me and who didn't make it. You know, it's just really difficult. And, you know, Sunny continued to be that support after, you know, because survivorship is hard. Going through it is hard, but survivorship is hard.
And from your point of view, Sunny, when there were times, because we do, if we've worked with, and I've had the pleasure and the honor to work with Miss Onyx Keesha on a set, on a film, it's intense. So I can't imagine with, you know, going through what she was going through and understanding that. So how important was it to absolutely honor her, be there for her, but absolutely understand that you were there to have kind of a different point of view from the outside looking in? Was that difficult at times?
It was difficult at times. I count myself as being an empath, so I did take on a lot of those emotions, but I wear it with, if I can say, like a badge of honor. It's just such a privilege to be there with her during that journey and just have her pick me out of millions of people that she could have picked, to be able to do that. It's so heartfelt. So I'm more honored to be by her side than worried about how I feel about it. You know, I really just want to make sure I hold the right way.
Okay, if you guys are just joining us, we are in the midst of an amazing launch. It is Pink Lemonade, the movement. We're talking right now with the producers and creators of the mini docu-series following not just Onyx Keesha, but other strong people through their struggle, their challenge, their victory in every way over breast cancer. So what we want to do is make sure that you know this is a movement. You can be a part of this movement. Let me go ahead and give you the website one more time. When we're doing that throughout the broadcast, so several more times. The Pink Lemonade .org is what you're going to do to be a part of this movement, get the information, and we're going to continue in this flow. I want to thank the beautiful and incredible Miss Sunny for her contributions. Again, conversation will be bringing people on and off. Right now, though, I want to make space for, there we go, Onyx Keesha. I knew she was going to do that. It's right there on your screen, the pinklemonade.org. It's about getting not just money, but time, information, education, creativity as a part of this movement. This is a celebration of the creative process that absolutely fed Onyx Keesha and other women in her situation at the time, survivors. I never call people victims of, I always call people survivors and thrivers. All right. So thank you for being a part of this. We want to keep moving on. We introduced an amazing woman who did the prayer for us, but she's also going to come back and join us. I'm going to call Miss Dr. Rainier Amen back to the stage. If you missed her, I do want to say that she is an advocate for spiritual healing and harm reduction in the LGBTQIA plus faith community. And we just talked to, so welcome back, Dr. Rainier Amen. Thank you so much.
I was crying and everything over here.
Yes, well, that's it, man. We're gonna cry together. We're gonna celebrate together. We're going to rejoice together in this. That's what this launch is about, and we want to thank you absolutely for being here. But when we talk about support, when we talk about people who are surrounding the women, the incredible women of color going through this, you want to talk about the pit crew. I love this. I have never heard it called that. But what exactly is the pit crew?
The pit crew is your, but they hold certain roles in our lives. If you, anyone that is a fan of NASCAR, you know, when the cars come into the pit, the people come out and they wipe the windows, put the tires on, and it happens so quick, but they get the car back out there. And sometimes people don't realize when you are running through a life journey, you just need maintenance. You need people that are going to show up for you and be able to show up for you in the capacity in which they can. Some show up for you and they try to do things that they're not equipped to do. And
say that last part again, within the capacity that they can. I need to hear that.
Right. Because we love people and we say, you know, I always joke, don't have your friend that can never keep a relationship be part of your relationship pit crew. Like, you have to know what people are able to handle, and they have to know how they can show up for you
Wow.
and
That's
have that
huge.
conversation, because
Yeah.
sometimes we expect people to show up for us and we don't tell them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I guess I'm my sister's pit crew,
Yeah.
because she had a group of us that she told, and even I was the communications officer. One, I knew that was my role, because once I got the information and I went like in my space and fell apart and got myself together, it was very easy to go, this is the information we have. We're not going to get upset about information we don't have. This is what I'm. Hey, amen. We're not going to give any of our fear to this situation. We're going to keep people light and love. So the cool thing about that's so funny. My job on the pit crew was definitely communications officer. People were flying in and sending money and stuff like that. But I was absolutely the person. Once we talked to the doctor, my sister didn't want to have that conversation
Gotcha.
5 more, 6 times, 8 more times.
Mhm.
I was the person that gave people the information on a need to know basis. So that is huge and powerful. Is if I'm just getting this news, the horrible news that no one wants to get, that I have cancer. She talked a little bit about a woman who just quit answering the phone. Like, I don't want to know. So what, after you get that phone call, how is it even the thought of, okay, these are the people I need to tell, and how do you actively start assembling your pit crew?
Well, let me say my experience. I have 2 sisters that actively have cancer. My,
Oh,
my
okay.
biological mother had it. My grandmother is ran through the family, and last year the doctors had some concerns about me, and it didn't turn out to be ovarian cancer, but I still had to have a full hysterectomy.
Mm,
When you get hit with news, first there's a breath.
mm,
There's
okay.
a breath that you have to take, and it
Right.
might not come in that moment. It
Mm,
might not come for a couple of days when you finally go. And the first thing is, don't call the person that's going to panic. Don't
got it.
call the person. You don't want to have to start trying to help the person you called to help you.
Right. Okay.
So
That's
it's
wonderful.
important to just think of who's in your life and who you trust that will be able to show up for you in a way that you need them to.
Okay.
That's how you start assembling your team. And then when you bring that first person in, then you can start to have a discussion like, okay, now who else would be complementary to what I need for my support team? Because again, when people hear things, they mean well.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes in trying to adhere to the well-meaning people, you put yourself at harm.
Mm,
So, like how your sister chose you and then you handled everything else, it is helpful to have a person that you can put in place that will field the phone calls, field all the stuff that is incoming, because what you intake and how you are, that plays a part in your healing.
okay.
And so, being stressed out because of somebody else's emotions about what you're going through is more detrimental to you than anything else.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's that one point that people need to know. You can absolutely, if you're called upon, but absolutely understand that that person needs you to help them in the way that is valuable to them.
Right, right.
Is
And
that
let
is that a good way to say it? I had to
yes.
hear it. I had to
And let
hear it.
them
It's not about you. If you're stepping up to serve, it is about what the person who you are serving needs.
right,
And that's something we need to hear, and it's something you need to understand if you're in that pit crew, because then you can help that person recognize when those people are stepping up.
exactly.
That just came to me. Wow, that is so much value. Miss Onyx Keesha, are you there?
Mm.
I'm here.
So,
I love you. I just want to say,
yes.
Oh, you already know I'm gonna ball. I love you too, and I thank you. And just you drop so much pink love when you speak. It's not just enlightening us. Like, I felt you, I feel you, and I'm just listening. Like, yes, like people need to know, no matter what their storm is, no matter what their storm is, and just being able to understand the idea of a pit crew. It's like I had to have you on to speak about this, because especially when it comes to women of color, sometimes we're not connecting. We don't trust. We don't talk, and we feel like we can do it on our own, or we need to do it in silence.
right.
And I really want us to shatter that idea, because when we connect and support each other, we are powerful.
Absolutely. And I'm part of your pit crew.
Yes.
Zenja, I just met you. I'm part of your pit crew.
Amen and hallelujah.
All of us, we are members of the Pink Lemonade movement.
Absolutely.
And I say, let's go and take this healing into the world.
And that's absolutely what this program is, and everybody's contribution to it today is. So thank you for being part of her pit crew, but also standing in the space of allowing people to understand how they can be of service. Sometimes people just don't know. So to put it into words where they're like, no, you can be of service, but this is absolutely about how you can serve this person. So you have to be open and have an ear for what that is.
Yes.
So I want to thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you
so much for joining us and being part of this and doing this. And what I want to do right now is bring up Miss Onyx Keesha. She's going to present the Pink Lemonade Warrior. And I think it's just apropos to do that after we talk about what a pit crew is.
Yeah.
When we talk about your support system. So I wanted to open it up. You actually have awards for people, and whether they're joining us or not, we just want to put their names in the space. So break down what the Pink Warrior Award is.
Sure. So I have a pink box, a pink lemonade box. Do you guys see my pink lemons back here? First of all, pause.
I'm just noticing. Those are fantastical.
So I have a bunch of Pink Lemonade ambassadors, and we have some boxes that are going out this weekend with a signature pink lemon and some merch. But I also know how important it is to honor women who are either currently on their journey or have survived. And so we have selected several women who we're sending out our special signature pink box to. Can you guys see that? So our pink box is filled with lots of goodies. And there are two women who are actually on tonight who I would love to just honor. When you are going through this journey, sometimes you feel completely lost. And it's the little things that matter. And then also, after you've gone through the journey, sometimes it feels like everybody else forgot. And you're stuck carrying the bag of survivorship. Everyone is like, oh, great, you survived. You should be happy. But I'm more afraid in the survivor portion of my journey than I was going through it. And so I wanted to really just honor women who are in their journey or have already defeated breast cancer. So I'm super excited. I have two women, and they are on. And so I'd love to just talk to them a little bit. So, they'll be getting the pink box in the mail.
That is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you. So we have Maria. Maria, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on.
Hi.
How are you?
How you guys doing?
Hello, Maria.
Awesome. And then we have Miss Edwards. I'm going to bring Miss Edwards on as well. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Welcome, ladies.
So I have your bios. I know what you've been through, but I really love the idea of hearing it through your words. And so can we start with you, Maria? Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Well, in 2015, like most women, breast cancer did not, in my family, it did not run in my family. So, you know, you go, I could skip a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Skipped a year, went to the doctor, got my mammogram. You know, when they call the doctor in and they have to look at your screen, it's like, okay. So you're sitting there, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, please don't tell me to go to the other room.
Mm.
So to go to the other room, ultrasound. Then the doctor comes in, and I knew it when the doctor walked in. He started having a conversation, and my spirit just left. So okay, now I have to go a little further to get my biopsy. And my crew, my Aunt Jane and my sister Sequoia went to every appointment. Sequoia went to every appointment with me, no matter where. Radiation, to the doctor. When I had my surgery, my children, Sequoia, they were there. So I'm in a meeting, just went back to school because I'm in education, August, in this big meeting with all administrators up at Montclair State University. So I get a call. That's when it's like, okay. So now I have to keep this front on because I'm at work with hundreds of people. And then when I get in my car, it's like, that's when it hits. So I'm sitting there. I had to, get my cry on. And then I had to move on. One thing I can say is, and I say there were blessings in between, because when I was first diagnosed, I was diagnosed with stage 2. When after the surgery, it was stage 1. Then I did not have to have chemo, which, I mean, when I was going to my radiation, I saw many people that had chemo, and I knew I was blessed. I'm going through this, but I was blessed because I saw that other people's journeys was so much more different than mine. So right now, 2015 diagnosed, this is 2020. So the doctor now, we're talking about whether I'm going to continue on with my medication.
Right.
So, because they say 5 years, but the people that I know and work with, some of them were on 10 years.
Yeah.
So, we're going to make that determination pretty soon. And that's my journey. I retired. Both of my doctors in education, I deal with parents, students, teachers, and I was over facility so much.
Wow.
And I just have to put this little plug in: supervise preschool teachers and children with autism. So working with autism, and when I came to the school, autism was only preschool, and when I left, it was up to 7th grade.
Wow.
So, that's what I miss. But one thing the doctor said to me was, you'll know you're stressed because the weakest part of your body. So when my lymph nodes were removed, I could feel that pressure, and I knew that the stress was real.
Wow.
We go through this, and we don't realize we're being stressed.
Right.
And that's when I knew, I'm like, okay, start your exit. So after 31 years working with Urban School District, I retired February 2020.
Wow.
Yes.
It's an amazing story.
Yes.
Well, congratulations on all accounts.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes. And Miss Edwards, please share with us your journey.
Well, my name is Aisha. I was diagnosed in December of 2017. So I have been getting tested actually since I was 36, because my grandmother, my father's mother, had breast cancer, and I had a cousin to pass from breast cancer. So I was supposed to go in November of 2017, but they had to reschedule me.
I went December the 6th. December the 7th, I got a call. When I got that call, I was like, why are they calling me? Because I had never got a call before. So I immediately knew that something wasn't right. They brought me back in that Friday to do another ultrasound, but in the process of that, I just completely lost it. I was in the car. I had got off work. I called my best friend. I didn't call my mother. I didn't call my husband. I called my best friend Kim, and she was like, "Just calm down. Positive thinking, positive thoughts." And I was like, "I don't like this." So she went with me. I came home. Well, actually, I came home. I told my husband. I told my mother, and but Kim went to the doctor with me that Friday. So they did another ultrasound. She asked questions. I was kind of hesitant because I really didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But she asked some good questions. What is next? Where y'all gonna send her to? Um, just things that wasn't in my mind. So by the end of that month, December the 28th, I had my first biopsy. And January the 3rd of 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 1 infiltrating duct carcinoma, which I'm triple negative. It's very aggressive.
Yeah.
From December until January, a peanut size mass grew to 2.3. So when I say very aggressive, it is very aggressive. January of 2018, I went ahead and had my lumpectomy. That's what I chose to do first. So went straight into chemo like the next week. I think I did from February to May of 2018, I did chemotherapy. They gave me June off. July, I went back to work because I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm gonna try to go to work and do radiation. So I had to do 8 weeks of radiation. Went back to work. Work was okay, but the stress, just
Yes.
the stress from the job because I was an auditor, the constant movement, my body hadn't healed, the fatigue from the radiation, it just didn't work. And by me working third shift, it really didn't
Oh
work
yeah.
because they didn't want to work with my doctors. So
Hmm.
January of 2019, I started having neck problems, like leg problems, couldn't stand long. So I'm like, what in the world? So it wound up giving me thyroid disease. I have high blood pressure now. Never had these things before. Um, and I had a herniated disc in my neck. So I started getting injections. Fast forward to April of 2019. Now, mind you, I done a PET scan and I'm no evidence of cancer. So April 2019, this time I found the mass. I found 2 lumps in the same breast. And I called the doctor immediately and I was like, this can't be. So it kind of shook me again, but I said, I'm going to just wait. The week before Mother's Day, I found out that I had a reoccurrence. And by this time, I was 2A. And it kind of bothered me, but I still pressed on. I came out of work completely. The doctor took me out completely because they still didn't want to work with me at work. So I decided in December that I would remove my breast.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want reconstruction. I am
Mm-hmm.
fine with me. I am happy with me, but I want to live.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing is your faith.
Yes.
My husband has been there because I have heard horror stories where husbands leave, the kids go crazy. My husband, my mother, my best friend Kim, and my children have not left my missed an appointment through next to my church family. I have an amazing pastor that showed up for surgeries. And when I say they're there, they're there. They
Yeah.
listen.
Wow.
They just don't, say it's gonna be okay.
Right.
It's a mental battle. And then this third time, here I go again, breasts off. Same time, April, checking again because you still got to check.
Yes.
Here I go again, third occurrence. So I'm like, Lord, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to teach me? you know, what am I missing? Because I know it's a purpose in it, but I know that I have to be faithful. I know I have to fight no matter what. And I know I just have to be encouraged. So my crew has grown tremendously, but I have 8 people that I know if I need anything outside of my mother and my husband, they are there. They get me out the house. They make sure I'm laughing. They make sure I'm encouraged. If my husband can't take me an appointment, it's somebody on the spot. It's somebody right there to take me. So I am thankful for, we call it the couples crew because all of us are married, but you just need that support. That support means a lot. And I thank you, Onyx, for your journey and sharing this. I thank everybody up here because we need to know more. We need to be educated. We need to speak out. And it's okay to go to counseling. Like this time I got in counseling because I'm like, okay, this, you know, I'm still flesh. So I have my moments where I cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow.
Woo. Woo. So I'm trying to get my words together because
that's the journey.
So thank you both for your truth,
Yes.
for your honesty, for your transparency,
Yes.
everything you've already gone through. Like every time you open your mouth, you're helping women who look like us, who absolutely
Yes.
need to, who see ourselves in you. So absolutely know that, yeah, I'm riveted. Just like Oprah says, everybody has a story. But what this does is this connects us and allows us to speak about it. Because culturally, we grew up and we were told you kind of handle this in house. You don't really talk about it. Everybody don't need to know your business. But what we're figuring out here is whether it's a creative community or informational, you need community. You need your pit crew and people like Onyx who are willing to not only walk through it, but make sure that she champions and gives a voice to other women who are doing it as well. So both of you guys, of course, you are going to get your pink lemonade boxes. But thank you for being a part of not only this event, but this journey. Because it's women like you, it's the reason she does this. I mean, yes, there's your personal situation, but who Onyx Keesha is she's always had a heart for women and specifically women of color. And this is a huge voice, a huge launch. So thank you guys for your contribution and your fight every day to not only be a survivor, but a thriver through this. So
yes.
Trying to talk long enough for Onyx Keesha to quit crying. I'm good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Your stories. I know it takes a lot to be transparent, and this is what, like Zenja said, this is what we need. We cannot be afraid, or rather, it's okay to have fear, but we need to push past.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is my pleasure to honor you two ladies as my first official honorees. I definitely want to just stay connected. I would love to, when the world opens back up, I would love to come visit you guys and film your story and your journey and really be a part of making sure this movement is a movement and not just a day.
Amen.
And I have nothing but time.
Yeah, congratulations on that, both of you.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Time to focus on your healing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Wow. So we did that. Your first 2 awards. That was huge and tremendous.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having the heart to just have this. And to reach out the way that you do, and each and everybody's creative contribution. I wanted to go ahead and bring up Miss Cleo up right now, if we could do that. Just because when you talk about your pit crew, your tribe, the people that are just so important to play their role. This young lady is definitely that to you. I want you to share with the community who she is to you and why she is so much a part of what we're experiencing and launching today.
Well, let me tell you guys. First of all, if you have been a part of my journey at all over the last 3 years, you know that I go through personal assistance like crazy. I promise. I mean, if you've been on set with me, you might think different, but I promise I'm really easy to deal with, you know? But I always have just a big turnaround because my life is really hectic and I have several brands. And so Chloe submitted her resume, and I had one conversation with her. And from that moment, she has been the reason why I'm able to still do what I do, because the reality is I'm still in treatment. I'm still healing and my stamina is not the same. I still get sick. I have really bad days, but I needed someone who could really fill in that gap. And Chloe has done more than fill in the gap. She has taken initiative. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to her is because she has planned this amazing event along with her mom. And I'm so excited to announce this. So take it away.
First of all, you're making me blush.
That's the crowd noise. Okay.
But I want to say first that I'm incredibly honored to be able to be a part of this, and that's the reason why I figured I'd apply myself in the way that I have, because I feel like this movement is important and it's relevant. It's so very relevant, and I think all the work that you've done is relevant, and it inspires people like me who want to be in the media industry and want to be in film, and they don't see a lot of Black women doing that, and it's discouraging. It really is. But on the subject of the event that my mom and I are putting together, it's going to be a reoccurring thing. And I'll go into a little bit of why we kind of felt like it was something that should be done. I've never dealt with breast cancer in my life. Nobody in my life has had that. I do have a very close friend whose father 2 years ago passed away from lung cancer, and I was part of her pit crew during that experience. And it was hard. It was really hard. I was only 18 at the time, or 19. I don't know how old I am. Like 19. I'm 21. And it was really hard because I'd never seen that journey before. I'd never seen how it affects families and kids. And her little brother, he's a couple years younger than me. He has Asperger's, and it was really, really hard on him to watch his father basically waste away. And so I, along with my own sister, we were there for them, and it was an incredible thing to watch. But in the last year, in January, my father actually passed away rather unexpectedly due to a heart condition and stress. He had lost his job, and it was a whole set of situations where he couldn't handle it anymore, and he passed away, and it was incredibly unexpected. But after that, we get coronavirus and quarantine, where we're all stuck inside, and, dealing with grief and not being able to go to work and not being able to go to school is incredibly difficult. And I think a lot of people are going through that. And a big part of any kind of recovery, whether it's you're in recovery because you're sick, or you're in recovery because somebody has passed away, somebody so important to you, like my father, he was like my best friend. Both my parents are. They're my biggest cheerleaders ever. I'm incredibly grateful to have them. But when you go through that, I think the biggest part that you need to safeguard and you need to field is your mental health. So the way that I did that, and the way that my mom encouraged me to do that, is to go out and go on hikes and go on walks. So it wasn't anything strenuous. It wasn't anything too crazy. It was a couple of miles here and there we started out with. And we would just walk up the mountain, take a look, breathe the air, listen to the trees, listen to the birds, whatever. And to me, I found that to be so incredibly centering, almost spiritual. It was incredible. The way that we would do that almost every week, and progressively go to longer hikes. So now our average is 7 miles, and we do that pretty often. But what we want to do basically is put together a hike and a walk virtually for people to check in and say, hey, I did 2 miles with my kid today, or we walked in the park today. It doesn't have to be a hike, anything crazy, but we want to build a community where people recovering and people going through things can feel safe and come on and join us when we go on hikes, when we schedule hikes in their own hometowns. And at some point, I think we'll be able to refer people to different places where they can go on hikes and where they can check in and things like that. But that's what we have in the works. And the first one we're going to do is this Saturday, which I believe is Halloween. Yeah. Very spooky. But we're going to do a really short one on Saturday afternoon, I believe at 1:30 or 2:30. But we'll be posting about it tomorrow and on Saturday. So people will be able to see it and people will be able to check in and join if they want to do so. And we encourage people to take pictures of what they're doing and whether they're walking and post that kind of stuff. Send it to us. Reach out, talk about it. Talk about how you're feeling about certain things and how walking is maybe helping you. And I know all of us being stuck inside, you know, we need to get out a little bit more and things like that. So we think this is an important time to kind of push that. Yeah. That's basically what we have going on.
Awesome sauce. And I am like, I think it's amazing idea. You know, Zenja, I know that you are all about the fitness. Okay.
I was just about to say that. My brain is exploding. So my company is thebodyinthebag.com. And it is a connection between everything starting with your body in action. So yeah, we talk about the aesthetics of what it looks like to look a certain size or to fit into clothes, but it is really about understanding that this is the vehicle that houses all your gifts. So this is what you should spend the most time paying attention to. When you're getting outside, when you're breathing the air, the exchange between plants and the way we breathe is essential to our well-being. And then making sure that your body stays in activity, the oxygen released. So I'm just going to say I'm there for you. I don't know if you're going to start a Facebook page, but the Body in the Bag is there. I will be checking in. We do boot camps twice a week. And we did that out of the gyms closing and people being cooped up in a house together that never really spent that much time together. Let's just get it real. Yeah. When the pandemic hit, people were like, I can stand you a couple times a week, not every day. Yep. So it was a way for families and couples. And I would say, come do a boot camp with us for a date night. And we had couples doing it. And then families were bringing their kids out. So I am in full support. We will be there.
We would love to have you. We want as many people as we can because we feel like it doesn't have to be high intensity, you know, it's literally just about getting outside. And I know it's getting cold, but what are you going to do? Stay in your house? Like you got to go outside anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's not exactly getting cold for Zenja because she's in Las Vegas. And
well, good for you. It's freezing over here.
It got down to like 40 degrees yesterday. That's cold for us at night.
How much was it during the day?
Relative, huh? But it was still up around the 70s during the day. But
yeah, so
no.
Okay, us East Coasters have no.
It's like 45 degrees today during the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen snow on television. You guys look like you have fun, but I know nothing. When we throw up the dubs, I know nothing about it, and I'm okay with it.
It's so amazing. I'm like super excited that for the first hike, Pink Lemonade is going to be a part of it. And so they're going to have some Pink Lemonade gear while they're taking pictures. And I'm really excited about that.
I have a question. Can I go to the website and buy Pink Lemonade gear and support?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and that website, you see how I did that there? That website is thepinklemonade.org. You got to do that. Get that out of the way. Of course. And it's right there, Miss Onyx Keesha, producer extraordinaire.
Teamwork. And so one of the things I did want to say again, while I have both, health nuts on, when I was going through chemo, I had a very special friend, Dr. Elijah Nicholas, who really helped me. And part of the way he helped me was saying things like, hey, let's go walk the dogs. And, I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to. I was a brat. But every single time I went out to walk the dogs, I felt better. And eventually we walked longer. And I realized that I needed that. That is part of how I got through.
Let's not talk about the vitamin D from just being outside in the sun that
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
need it.
African American people lack because we're indoors. So yes, it's set up that way.
It's like mind blown. And then in doing my research, health and wellness is such a key component into reducing the risk of breast cancer, like especially for women of color. It is a key component. So it's something that we are really excited to make sure is a part of what we do. We're going to be offering some free classes around the country. So when we come to Vegas, we'd love to partner with you.
Already done.
And just all about health and wellness and getting your body right. So thank you so much, Chloe.
You're
No problem. Glad to be here.
Okay, let's see if I could talk and produce at the same time. There we
go. There you go.
So
all right, guys. Yes, darling.
I see we have our medical doctor on.
We do.
Yes, we do. And so I'm excited. Yeah, I think we should bring her on. What do you think?
Okay. I'm going to her bio here on my handy. And this is Dr. Marguerite Brathwaite. And for 22 years, minimally invasive surgeon specializing in robotic surgery, chief of I practiced this and I knew I was going to do that. Chief of obstetrics and associate medical director for 17 years at Southwest Medical and Associates in Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey, awesome. Welcome to the line, Dr. Marguerite Brathwaite. Are you here?
How's it going?
Wonderful. Welcome to the conversation. And thank you so much for being a part of this launch. We've been talking, I don't know if you were able to hear us earlier, but we've been talking about healing, using the creativity that we have. We've been talking about a support group or a person's pit group. Pit crew. But this is about information and education since we are here rounding out the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's talk about the specifics when it comes to women of color and breast cancer. We've heard a lot about mammograms and so forth, but what can you give us on the medical side that we need to know as African Americans? A couple of the survivors and the thrivers talked about, I didn't want to go this year, so I didn't go ahead and get that mammogram or what have you. So what are a couple of key things that specifically as African American women, Dr. Brathwaite, that we need to look out for?
Well, our risk is higher, and currently 1 out of 8 women can get breast cancer, and it can happen quickly. I was watching a broadcast earlier today with one of my OBGYN colleagues. She's an OBGYN herself, and she got caught up with life and didn't have her mammogram for 4 years, and she found out she had breast cancer. And it can just happen. 4 years doesn't seem like a long time, especially if you kept up with your mammograms up until that point, to go ahead and develop, I think she says for her stage, breast cancer in just 4 years. We just, as African American women, we just have to keep up with everything, the health disparities that happen with Black females and their medical providers. You have to have a certain responsibility with yourself to make sure you keep up with what's needed for yourself, which is your pap smears, which checks for cervical cancer, but nobody has to die from cervical cancer at this day and age. If you're dying from cervical cancer, that means you didn't do anything. There's just so many things that we can do before you even have cervical cancer. Keeping up your mammograms. Mammogram is scheduled to be every year after 40. People with a high risk can get a baseline at 35. But now it's like once you turn 40, I tell my patients in the 40-40 club, and my present to them is their mammogram. And
it is.
You have to start doing that every year. As well as, our cholesterol checks, and your thyroid becomes more abnormal as you get older. as and then just regular women stuff, as especially as women age, the regular transition to menopause issues and different things like that.
Absolutely. We had one of the survivors talk about the at-home self-check because after, I guess it was her second time, she was well versed in checking it for herself. How often should we do that? I was told once every 30 days.
Yeah, you
Is
should do
that
it
still
monthly, and if you're still
monthly?
getting it
Okay.
monthly, and you should wait at least a week after your menstrual cycle, because your menstrual cycle can make your breast lumpy, bumpy, anyways. So wait a
Okay.
week to after that. Um, and basically, what I tell people is like, you just have to get to know your breast, because people are like, I don't know what to feel for. And I say, just get to know your breast so that if you feel something different, then you know that that wasn't there. And the best way is like maybe start in the shower
Hmm.
and with your arms up and go in a circular motion around your breast. But the other parts is going up into the um, armpit and the anterior wall and up and underneath your breast and to the side, all along your breast wall. And then also check it when you're laying down as well.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had a
So,
patient. I had a patient today, and she said, you know, that she had breast cancer and it was only picked up on the mammogram. And then I had a patient yesterday who said, "I'm not forgetting mammograms," and she was in her 60s. My breasts are fine. My breasts are fine. But I'm just like telling the patient today exactly like mammograms are there to pick up things that we cannot feel. And it's
mm,
all about early detection and getting the breast cancer at a lower stage so that you know your outcomes are better and the treatment is not as so aggressive.
and what would you say? Oh, we have a question here. Why is it that you said you don't have to get tested until you're 40? But in my experience, most women that I've known who have had breast cancer are under 40. But you did talk about if there is a history.
Yeah, if there's a
Um,
history, you can get at start at 35, but in general, according to American College of OBGYN, what they do is at 40 is yearly. But the thing is, if a patient comes to me and she's in her 20s and she has a breast lump, I go ahead and get a breast ultrasound. She might not get a mammogram right away, but she'll at least get a breast ultrasound. Like, you still go ahead and start diagnostic testing, but
okay.
it's just not like screening tests is for the general population, and recommendations are when you know to catch the majority of cancers, but not to say that you can't ever do anything outside of that. If
Absolutely.
you feel something
Absolutely.
earlier, I had a friend in medical school and she was in her 20s and she had breast cancer.
Hmm.
So I
So,
mean, you have to, if you feel something, then you need to go check it out.
okay. So, what about the fear factor? Because you talked about women not necessarily being comfortable with giving a self breast exam. Um, but it seems like that's the first line of defense. It seems like that is maybe going into my 30s, if I feel like there's something or someone around me has it, that is absolutely the first line of defense, that you absolutely know what your body feels like.
Right. And then exactly, like, what your body feels like when you're looking at your breasts, you want to make sure that they fall evenly, that one's not pulled up higher than the other, that the nipple is not being retracted in or turned in, or any little dimpling, or like any orange skin looking areas, or even a bruised area. Most breast cancers are not tender, do not hurt, but it can change the look of your breast and feel like a little ball. And people just, I don't know, I've had some big lumps and people just ignore it. Um, and the other thing is, when you're 21, you start going to your gynecologist annually. And then at least I start doing breast exams on all my patients, even if they're just taking birth control pills and they're younger. I do breast exams on all my patients that come for their annual exam. But
Okay.
if you're not
What
coming
is
to see your doctor, but you should at least.
At least see what you can do as far as getting that mammogram, knowing that you are the first line of defense. I feel like because of technical issues, we lost our doctor. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. All right. So, but that was some very powerful information
Yeah.
about breast self exams,
Okay.
understanding actually what you're looking for. I do it, and I've got my mammogram scheduled actually this month. And this is what I do. And I don't know, because sometimes I break up. because it makes I get nervous and I get hesitant, but I treat myself to a pancake breakfast directly following the mammogram because I feel like it's aggressive.
Dr. B,
So we have her back. Thank you so much. We had
can't
some
hear.
technical issues. Huh? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? No.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Onyx, but I can't hear Mrs. Dunn.
Oh
no.
Technology. We don't know.
Right.
What we want to say.
So what you can do is ask her what would be what are the myths that are still around about breast cancer that are doing a disservice? If she could think of any.
So are there any myths about breast cancer that are around that are doing women a disservice?
I think one of the things is like if they don't feel anything, then they're okay because again, the mammogram can pick up things that you can't feel, and that's the whole point of it is to catch it early when you're not before it becomes palpable. Because when it becomes palpable, then that's more progressed. I think Black women probably can get screened earlier.
Okay.
Than maybe 40. Some people say 38 with African Americans. But then again, like I said, at 35 you can get a baseline, and if something came back out normal, then you can go ahead and continue your mammograms from there. Because if they see something, they might say that come back in 6 months and then be checking you every 6 months.
I have another question for you, doctor. Oh no. I have a question about, and this is a disparity that I have seen happening, especially with African American women when it comes to their doctors. She's an African American woman, so the trust level for me is different. My gynecologist and actually my practitioner are both Black women, so I that's what I look for, and the basis behind that was communication that I had with doctors that did not look like me. That even though I went in and there were things that I thought was wrong, I had some fibroid issues. But even that communication sometimes for African American women can be a tough talk. You see what I'm saying? The disparities of African American women not being believed. The people. So I know it's that would probably be different for you because you are an African American woman. But what would you tell a woman who feels like she's not as empowered to ask those questions?
Right. You're on mute, Dr. B. You're on mute.
Then maybe help find a doctor that looks like her, but you have to speak up because people like to give Black people surgeries they don't need or operate on people. I mean, like fibroids is the only operation that people take out the whole organ for something that's not cancerous, and so a lot of women get unnecessary hysterectomies, especially African American women. And your uterus is there also to support your pelvic floor and to help with bladder support. And I think a lot of Black women get hysterectomies unnecessarily due to maybe because
this is what's interesting. My doctor, I had this conversation when I lived in Los Angeles. So I had a medical doctor and a holistic doctor. So once I got the diagnosis, and at the time they were grapefruit-sized fibroids. They were a problem. So what we did, then I also went to my holistic doctor and we worked together, and I herbally shrunk. But I knew my body, and I knew I got the recommendation, and they did recommend to cut me. I knew that I did not want that, and I literally herbally reduced my fibroids. But I was able to have the conversation.
And I think that's important, the conversation. I know for me, after, I got the radiation, my oncologist says, so now I think you should get a hysterectomy. And I said, okay, let me have some other conversations, because it was just, it wasn't even, it was like just to prevent if anything might happen. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to have this conversation so I could get all of the information. But I could see that being so terrified of being sick, you would automatically go take every single thing that might make me sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then everything's in moderation. Like, because I obviously do surgeries on fibroids as well. If they're symptomatic and people are anemic and discomfort, and as long as you give people the information, let them make the choice for themselves, and then also, like, for your case, there is some studies to show, like, taking out their ovaries will help decrease the risk of recurrence. And then that depends on the type of breast cancer you have as well. But you just like, I'm in this doctors group. We call it Doctors McStuffins, and
I
they
love
say
Dr. McStuffins.
yeah, and so all the moms in there, so it's McStuffin mommies or physician moms, Black females. But the physician died from preeclampsia. I've never had die. And when you talk about disparities, I trained in Martin Luther King. I'm Canadian, but I trained in Martin Luther King. I never treat my patients differently. So it's so weird to see that they actually do get treated differently. Like, how do you die from preeclampsia? Like, it's so odd to me. But I know it happens, and people get treated differently. But when you know that you don't treat your patients differently, it's just really. And I've seen it. Like, they always think Black women can take more pain. And I had a patient that was on the floor, and she just had surgery, and the Caucasian male doctor didn't give her anything. I'm just like, how does she not have any pain medication? It's just like, I can see it, but it still startles me that it happens.
Yeah. Wow.
And it speaks to the importance of being able to have that conversation. And if you cannot, whether it's insurance, or I remember when I didn't have insurance, and I had gone to the health district, and a woman talked down to me. And because of who I am here in Las Vegas and my mother was, I knew instantly. I was like, we're not going to do this. So I literally went out and got that woman removed as a physician from that place, because I knew I had to speak up for women, and I knew that she had deterred, especially African American women who had shown up and simply wanted questions about their body. So being, yes, as Miss Ledwards, yes, you absolutely have to be your own advocate. You can't be afraid to have those conversations. And it's just awesome to know that there is a doctor that understands that and sympathizes with it. And just people just need to know that these are real conversations, and early detection is everything. So you can't be afraid to have that conversation.
Man. So do you have any last words for us, Dr. B?
Like the situation with me, I just wanted to say, like, as moms and Black women, we get very busy. We take care of our families and put everybody before us. And I had to have open heart surgery the other couple months ago, and we just have to take care. We have to check on ourselves. That the chest pain I felt, it didn't bother me. I wasn't like, oh my God. It's just like it was just a little discomfort. And if I wasn't on telemedicine for because of Corona, I wouldn't have had time to go check on myself. And so I was like watching everybody. You watch CNN, everybody's dying, and I'm like, okay, I want to single mom. Let me just go check on this little discomfort, and then you find out I need open heart surgery, a month later. So just to say that, it's just like, it's important that in order to keep our families good, we have to keep ourselves good, and we have to check on ourselves. Any little piece of discomfort, any little situation of discomfort that we feel, and we may not feel like it's a big deal. I thought maybe I had a GI issue. I did not know I could have had sudden cardiac death, and you gotta take the time to check on yourself. So whether that's your mammogram, your pap smears, your colonoscopies, your cholesterol, especially with Black people and their cholesterol, and blood pressure checks, and you don't have a stroke, just all these things so that we can be around longer for ourselves and our families.
Absolutely. And thank you for everything you do in service to women. in service to the people that you heal. We're absolutely proud of you, our Dr. McStuffins. and for the support that you have given Onyx Keesha in this movement. We absolutely appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm still at the office, so I'm gonna let you go. All right. Bye.
I love to, Dr. Frantonia Collins, which is a life coach of mine here in Las Vegas forever, told me when I was going through some life changes to make sure as women, as African American women, we use the pour from the saucer to serve, which means your cup is sitting in the saucer. Your cup is to remain full. Only once it overflows, only once you are overflowed with care, love, concern, stress free, can you then serve from the overflow from your saucer. So we got to remember that. We got to take care of us first. The movement has officially been launched. This is the Pink Lemonade movement. This is a children's book. This is a mini documentary. This is a health and wellness. We're going to go ahead and get on some hikes. If you want to be a part of the movement, please go to thepinklemonade.org. I know we are on our way out, but I want to go ahead and get out of the way of greatness for the woman responsible for bringing this together as wonderfully as she did. I am honored to be of service in this way. Take it away, Miss Onyx Keesha.
Woo. Well, first of all, Zenja, thank you so much. You first of all, you are like a phenomenal life coach. So you brought every bit of that love, care, and knowledge to this platform, and I am just so appreciative of you. Because you really ask the questions that there are people who are afraid to ask. And I'm so appreciative of that. And so thank you so much. I'm going to take your boot camp when I come to Vegas.
Come on, let's get it.
I might pass out, but I'm going to take it. So before I close out, I just wanted to just really thank you. I love you. I think you are a phenomenal actress, a phenomenal woman. And I'm really honored that you are now part of my pit crew.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now, see, you're the person. Thank you. This is what we have to do more of. I think the pandemic and things going on in the world really stresses the fact that we need to be warrior women for ourselves first, and then to the women around us. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Thank you so much. Until next time. So guys, thank you so much for spending the last hour and 45 minutes with us. I am honored, I am humbled, and I truly believe that part of my calling is to put a face to the fear. I believe a lot of times we don't get mammograms, we don't do self-checks, we don't talk, is because we're afraid. You know, I know so many people who don't go to the doctor because they're afraid, they rather not know. And the thing is, yes, it is scary, absolutely. It is. And yes, it's hard, but you can absolutely get through it. And by being transparent about my journey and sharing the journeys of others, I hope that you can see that when the storm comes, no matter what the storm is, when it comes, you can absolutely get past it. You can get past it if you stay rooted in faith. You can get past it if you have a positive mindset. You can get past it if you have a wonderful support system and support team. And it doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. It does not mean tragedy may not happen, but you must live. A lot of times when we get bad news or we're in a scary situation, we lose that. We lose that light to live because we're so afraid and we're caught in what if. And I just want to encourage you to live. No matter what your journey is, no matter what your storm is, keep pushing, keep living, keep loving, and know that every moment is worth it. Every moment, even if that moment you're in is frustrating or stressful, it is worth it. And it's just a tiny piece of the huge puzzle that is your life. Guys, this pink lemonade movement is huge. We are working on getting a pink lemonade mobile mammogram. And let me tell you, my mobile mammogram is going to be sexy. Yes, I said it, because we're about making health, making breast health sexy. Okay. So when my mobile mammogram pulls up with my pink lemons, you know, we're going to have music. We're going to have just a really inviting environment where women who have body dysphoria feel comfortable, where women who may not have access to health insurance are welcome. And we're going to pull up to the club. We're going to pull up wherever you are. You hear me? Wherever you are, we're going to pull up with our mobile mammogram to make sure that you get checked. Another thing that I really want to drive home is advocate for yourself. A lot of times, especially as women of color, we feel like we don't have a voice. We feel like if we speak up, we're being too much, we're being too dramatic, or we're hypochondriacs. I got called that my entire life. Dramatic hypochondriac, yes. But you know what? I own it, because I would rather be dramatic and speak up for myself than to be in the grave because I did not. So use your voice. If you feel nervous, call on somebody in your pit crew. Bring them with you so you can say, doctor, I know that I'm only 28, but I'm feeling something. I knew that I had breast cancer. It came to me in a dream. And I say this all the time. I had a dream. In my dream, God said, get a mammogram. I did not feel the lump. I did not feel the lump. Not even 4 weeks later, I had the same dream and I felt the lump, and it was breast cancer. So no matter how you know, if it's your woman's intuition, if it is the universe, if it is God, or if it's simply because you did a self-check, whatever your reason is enough to advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself. So we are raising money for the movement. You can donate at thepinklemonade.org. We are sending out our Pink Lemonade ambassador boxes. We have a big shipment that's going out this weekend. If you would like a Pink Lemonade t-shirt, mug, the merchandise, go to our website. You can also reach out to me directly. If you know someone who could use a box, who could use some cheer, who's going through their journey, let us know. That is what we're here for. That is what we're raising money for. I am very dedicated to making sure that breast cancer awareness does not only happen in the month of October. I really prayed about doing this in October because I didn't want it to get lost. Women of color are dying 40% more than Caucasian women of breast cancer. And because of that, this is a conversation that needs to happen every month. Just like you need to do a self-check every month. So look out for me popping up with my Pink Lemonade stuff. It's not going to just be in October. I will be dropping my children's book in just a few minutes. You can go to Amazon and get it. I will post it up in my groups and on my pages. Please support. All the money goes towards the movement. And thank you guys. Share this with someone who it may help. Thank you for your support. My motto is fun, faith, and fabulousness. Remember to keep God at the core of your life. Have fun and always remain fabulous. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.